Okay, I know that the title is a little clickbaitish, and in full transparency, I do have a Betterment account, so I'm not bashing them by any means. It's a very safe way to earn right now 3.75%, I believe it is. I'm just trying to say that there's a lot of options out there that give you a bigger return than whatever you're getting at your bank, which is probably nothing or 0.1% versus a place like Betterment that does 3.75. It was up near 5% a year ago, several months ago, before they started lowering interest rates. But anyway, I wanted to just point out a few names that I've been looking into more, because again, even I, who have researched so many different tickers out there, there's still some that are new that to me when people point them out. So before we dive in, disclaimer: I'm not a financial advisor. Content on this channel is for educational and entertainment purposes only. If you do need financial help, seek a professional. Nothing I'm saying on here, I'm not going to recommend any stocks. I'm literally just saying it for information purposes that these stocks are out there. I don't own any or most of these yet. I may buy some, but as of right now, like I said, I'm just bringing awareness that there's options out there. So don't take this as any financial advice or even, follow my lead here. Okay, so let's dive in. So what I'm looking at, actually on this page, let's go to my database here. Let's talk about these five first: THQ, DX, ARCC, and CHY, and PFFA. So right now, this is the current price of them. Most of them pay monthly. Our ARCC pays quarterly. But as you see right here, the current dividends are around 10%. DX is a little higher at 15%, but again, that's a pretty nice return, especially as, again, places like Betterment, which are much higher than normal savings accounts, those are still, or I mean, Betterment's 3.75%, but 10% obviously is much better. Um, stating the obvious there. But uh, the fact that these are out there, they're not, grabbing attention like some of the yield max ones, 50, 60%, 100%, returns or distributions. But these ones are, yeah, I mean, 10% is fantastic. So anyway, I know I'm mumbling again. What I was going to say though is the 10% doesn't really matter. Neither does 3.75% if it's losing NAV constantly. As we've seen with several high income ETFs, even though they have a high distribution, NAV is continually declining. So that's something we have to look at. So if we go over to compare, oh, sorry, let's compare these. So I put THQ, DX, CHY, ARCC, PFFA versus just the regular SPY. We see here total returns. This dark blue, so this is a 5-year period. Most of these funds have been around for at least 5 years, if not more, which is again a pretty good track record. Um, if you look here at the end, you'll see SPY, and SPY is on top. Total return of 85%. It's fantastic. SPY is kind of the S&P is the baseline. So ideally, we'd be earning more than that. However, if you sacrifice a little bit of that for income along the way, then great if that's what you're looking for. ARCC 60%. You see the numbers here, pretty good. So that's 5-year period. If we go down to 3-year, DX looks even better. The past 1 year, we see here, again, over the past year, returns are looking really good. CHY and DX are even beating SPY, barely, but a little bit. And then, yeah, year to date, we see CHY up 13%, ARCC down a little bit. So total returns looking pretty good again, especially for a 10% yielding dividend. So if we just look at the stock price itself, again, to show that NAV is holding fairly consistent. So year to date, Again, a little bit of a decline for um, the bottom four, but SPY is only up 5% and CHY is up 9%. Over the past year, looks a little bit better for the most part. SPY is up 30%, CHY 23%. So again, THQ and ARCC down just a little bit, but again, it's not a huge loss over the past year. Keep going out 3 years, then we see that again here. THQ is down 2%, but again, if your NAV is basically over the past 3 years holding constant at uh, holding, yeah, constant, not losing nav basically, but you're getting 10% returns consistently, that provides a good income opportunity. And along the way, obviously you're going to reinvest some, but it gives you options for what to do with that. And yeah, you're looking at SPY here, and it's like, well, SPY is up 73% over the past 3 years, and that blows away, the stock price change for everything. But if you look at total return, again, it's not so bad. Total return, including the dividends reinvested for these over a 3 year period, over the past 3 years. SPY is 80%, which is great, but DX and CHY and PFFA, I mean, they're all doing pretty good. So, again, I'm not here saying, oh, we need to buy ARCC and THQ, but I'm saying is there's options out there. So, again, I don't know if any of these, I commented on Maple Yield, his channel, because I found these through some Reddit posts, and I was just kind of documenting what people were saying. Oh, this is good, and I just looked them up and kind of looked at the data here. But Maple Yield does own ARCC, which again, it was just kind of interesting that I had never heard of it before, and somebody here on YouTube, was owned it. So, um, anyway, that's all I have to say about that. There's plenty of options out there. Obviously, this is not the only ones. Maybe these aren't even the best. But again, my point is like these are earning really good returns and really good. They have really high distributions. They're not losing NAV. They've been around a long time, so they're fairly established. So, it's like, again, this isn't advice, but I'm thinking of this for myself that I do have a Betterment account and I have money in there. That's only earning 3.75%. Whereas if I put it into here, I'll have more income to either reinvest into these same funds, or I will use that money, to buy something else, or eventually when I retire, use that to retire off of. So anyway, those options are out there. Um, the other one that somebody recommended here, that's what we're looking at. Sorry, let's go to this one. OVL. This one again, I've never heard of. The name of the company is Liquid Shares. Um, so OVL is a. Let's see, did I still have that up? No, sorry, I don't have it up. But I believe it's Liquid Shares is the name of the manager for that fund. But they own, I think, like 99% of VOO, and yeah, anyway, I was looking at the data for it. Sorry, switch this back. Let me go back to this one here. I was just looking up the data and the distributions. Again, this has been around for a really long time. And let me show you this page actually. So this is the dividend history for OVL. Overlay shares large cap equity ETF is the name of it. And again, that's by I think it's Liquid Shares. But if you see, okay, their distribution, where it is right now, it yields 5.5%. However, if you look back at the graph, the stock price has pretty much consistently gone up, where it's stayed steady with SPY. So if you look at kind of the summary, again, this has been around for a long time. You see, apart from 2022 when it dropped, since then it's still been recovering, and the dividend has actually gone up. Now it sucks that it's a quarterly pay, but we're getting spoiled with these weekly and monthly payers. But the fact is that it is doing that, and it's raising the dividend. So even though it's 5.5%, if your stock price is going up and you're getting value, or your NAV is appreciating, essentially just with the stock price, and you're getting a dividend that's increasing, that 5.5% is a little misleading because you're actually getting higher returns. Because again, if you were to buy this, back 5 years ago, your yield right now on your cost would be much higher than 5.5%. Maybe not much, but it would be higher. So again, you can't just look at the yield and say 5.5%. That's not very much compared to 3.75 a Betterment. But again, if we calculated that back when you bought it, it would be higher than 5.5%. But yeah, looking at the graph here, excuse me, I'm just comparing OVL to SPY I, and then regular SPY, and then even SCHD, which they all hold obviously slightly different things. So it's maybe not a perfect comparison or a fair comparison, but the 3-year total return puts OVL higher than SPY. And you can see here it's pretty consistently higher than SPY. Um, when we look back, all of these extra dots, I don't know how to get those off, but even 1 year OVL is 6% higher than SPY, definitely higher than SCHD, which had a great run at the beginning of the year. SCHD really took off. But even SPY I, which everybody loves and saying it's consistent, and I know SPY I pays whatever 12, 15% yield distribution, dividend, whatever you want to call it. But uh, everybody loves that one, but OVL kind of surprised me looking at that, looking at this return. Again, year to date, SCHD really took off, and now it's kind of leveling out. So, um, SCHD has done great, which a lot of people like SCHD, and that pays very small, very low distribution. But again, that's because the stock price is going up. So if we look at stock price change here, again, we'll see, 3 years, I guess, let's go out. We'll see here that the SPY and OVL are tracking very close, like very close. So you see after 3 years, SPY is up 73%, OVL is up 66%. But again, OVL has a higher distribution dividend yield than SPY does. Um, and then, yeah, you see SCHD here is appreciated, but only 31% over the past 3 years versus 66% for OVL. And yeah, SPY I is only up 9%. So yeah, I've only started looking into OVL and even these other ones. So I'm not recommending. I'm not saying, oh, they're the perfect uh, replacement for Betterment. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of options out there. So I don't know. I'm curious. Have you guys heard of any of these? THQ is healthcare, which is again may help some people with diversification, depending on tech is obviously the easy one to that everybody wants to buy into because it's still hot. But healthcare and I don't know off the top of my head what these other ones do. I'm sorry, but anyway, some options to look at. If anybody has looked into any of these, has comments about them, I'd love to hear them and sort of discussion on it because I'm certainly going to do more research and hopefully, we can continue to find more options out there. If there's other ones too that you really like that nobody talks about, post those below because I'd love to, yeah, start sharing that information. So thanks.